Hey guys, third video of the day, feeling really motivated, but the reason why I want to make this video is it's something that I really want to share with you guys because it's something that I've incorporated very lately, like only the last few months, but it's something I always knew about. It's something I've heard people talk about for years, but I always thought that it was something that was kind of like what more professionals did, and it was just something that your regular kind of Joe Blow guy who goes to the gym doesn't need to do, which is carb cycling. Like I don't even know if a lot of people actually do carb cycling, whether they incorporate it. A lot of people just make their standard meal, chicken and rice, and it's always the same amount of carbs, whatever. But I've been incorporating carb cycling in the last 2 months, and I've gotten some great results which I want to share with you, and I've done a lot of research into it, so I want to share that research with you. But this is more this video is more geared to the people who just want to learn about carb cycling, not people who are in the bodybuilding community who might have a lot of experience it. But even if you are one of those people, listen and hear what I have to say and give me good feedback, and maybe there's something I say that has some value to as well. So in essence, carb cycling is just alternating days between high carb and low carb days, okay? Because if you ate, let's just be real, if you ate nothing but high carb days where you're eating Italian grandma's pasta meal every day, you're going to get fat as fuck. You're going to bloat out a lot. You're going to retain water a lot more with the carbs, and you're going to have these insulin spikes because carbs convert to sugar. Okay, it's a saccharide. That's what the saccharide is. In essence, sugar. So you don't want to eat every day, known as pasta meal with gnocchi and bread and everything of the sort. Correct. So, but there are days where you want to increase your carbohydrate load, and I already hear it in the background already. There's a bunch of guys who are anti-carb purists who are just like the carnivore diet or whatever, saying, no, you don't need to do that. You can just eat nothing but steak all day. But the funny thing is, a lot of these guys, because I know some of them that I talk to, who I'm like, who are just, I'm a pure carnivore diet. I haven't eaten carbs in 2 years. I'm like, oh, do you drink milk and do you eat cheese and things? Yeah. Well, you realize that lactose is a carb? They're like, what? I blew their mind. They didn't even realize they were eating carbs the whole fucking time. They cheese and things. But obviously, if you're doing nothing but, it's just a little side note there. But I just thought that was funny. Anyway, to get back to the real essence of the video, alternating between high carb days and low carb days, because of if you eat nothing but high carb days, that's not going to be good. And if you eat nothing but low carb days, that's not going to be good, because what do carbs do? That is great. What did they do? They provide the glycogen to the muscle to actually make your muscles do things. And if you're in the bodybuilding community, you want your muscles to do things. If you're in the strength training community, you want your muscles to do things, which is grow. Lift weight and grow, correct? So, what I recommend is not every training day, you eat carbs. Long story short, you eat high carbs on your training days, and then your rest days you eat low carbs. But here's the thing, not every training day. Only one that I recommend that you're working on for that particular training block, and it might be something that you're lacking. And for your average person, I'm going to recommend it's going to be legs, because legs is going to be the big muscles. It's the one where you actually might need more carbs for. But if you're really working on your bench press PR, then it might be that day. Okay, so that's going to be it's really simple, and that's why I always heard about carb cycling. I'm like, that's just something like foreign that pros do. Like I don't need to do that. I just eat like normal meals and I'll be fine. Wasn't until I actually started doing it that I actually started getting really great benefits. Like, why wasn't I doing this before? Why wasn't I eating higher carb days before? Because when you do, your training days are going to be so much better and your recovery is going to be so much better. It's just as simple as that. Now, how do you actually go about in doing it? It's really simple. You just eat more. When you portion your meal preps out, you portion your meal preps out, high carb meal preps and low carb meal preps. So my high carb meal preps either involve a little bit more rice. Instead of like 1 scoop of rice, I do 2 scoops of rice. Simple as that. The other ones I do is I have a variety of meal preps. I don't just eat chicken rice. I like to cook different meals and things. So I have pasta dishes. So on the high carb day, I eat the pasta dish. Simple as that. The other one is for breakfast. Instead of eating 1 piece of toast, I eat 2 pieces of toast. Even though that's not technically high carb, but it's more carb. On my low carb days, I only eat 1 piece of toast or no toast, so nothing but eggs and maybe an avocado. On a hot, quote, higher carb day, I'll eat 2 pieces of toast. That's all it is. It's nothing complicated at all. Now, what you'll notice in the gym, not just better performance, is better pumps. You will get better pumps on carbs when you have a little bit higher carbs that day, especially when you eat more higher carbs as a pre-workout. But it comes with a cost, obviously, as well. When you eat higher carbs, you're not necessarily going to be doing this when you're on an aggressive cut, which was my last video. Like, I would not be carb cycling if I'm trying to cut or lose weight. And if I really want to put on a lot of weight, I don't even care about carb cycling. I'd be probably eating excess carbs. But like normal diet-wise and bodybuilding diet, yeah, you want carb cycling. You want some days where you eat a little excess carbs. But here's the warning about this: is you're going to put on weight. You're going to put on more water weight. And I'll give you a prime example. There's about 2 weeks ago where I made a huge pasta dish. It was pasta and tuna and vegetables, mushrooms, and a bunch of things in it, cheese, for my wife and I, right? But I made a huge pot of it. So there was like lots of meals I made out of that. Well, I eat that shit for 2 days, okay? Like for breakfast, for lunch and dinner, I eat nothing but pasta and tuna dish, okay? Guess what happened? I put on like 8 pounds in like 2 or 3 days. Now, granted, when I went off the carbs, I lost that within a week, but that's a prime example of that. It brings more fluid to the muscles. It brings more fluid to your body in general. So you're going to put on weight if you eat excess carbs. You're going to put on weight, and that's not necessarily going to be a good thing. You're going to bloat out a little bit. So that's just a warning. That's why we don't do it every day. That's why we only do it on our heavy training days, which isn't going to be every training session, unless you're in a bulking, in which case it's going to be all the time. So as simple as that. I don't know what else to really say about that. I think a lot of people overcomplicate things. Like, it's just about keep it simple. A lot of people think they don't need to don't incorporate things because they think it's just going to it's outside of, like myself included, thought it was something that just professional bodybuilders do. It's not something that regular Joe Blow would do, but do it. It is so easy. It is so easy just to make, if you're meal prepping already, make certain meal preps with an extra scoop of rice and keep that on the left side of the freezer. And the ones that have just 1 scoop of rice, low carb, keep on the right side of the freezer. So when you're drawing upon it, or you can even mark it if you want. Like, I don't know, I'm lazy. I don't have to do that. Just keep it in different sections. So I'm like, high carb meal, low carb meal. When you're making breakfast, high carb meal, 2 pieces of toast, higher carb anyway. It's not like super high carb. And then low carb meal, no pieces of toast. Simple as that. Not complicated at all. And on those training days, your training's going to be better, especially pre-workout carbs. I remember when I used to way back in the day in high school, when I used to train like for cross country before a race, the day before a race, it's like eat a big pasta meal the day before a race. It's true. That's exactly it, because that's carbs. Essentially, you're carbing up before a big performance day. So I guess also last thing I should say is, if you are going for your PR, maybe carb up a little bit too. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about carb cycling. I know but this is again for beginners. I know there's more advanced things, so leave in the comments section below if you've carb cycled. Is there something I missed? Is there something else you would add? I'm open ears. But for a basic Joe Blow guy like myself, I think that's all you really need to know about that. Leave in the comments what you think. Peace.